All right, good morning, and thanks for joining us here on Community Solutions, the last Wednesday of the month between 9 and 10 o'clock. I have the pleasure of meeting with and presenting with the United Way to talk about some of the things that are going on in the community, some of the things that are affecting you here, and some of the things that are getting done. It is a community service program, so you can call in. You can call in anyway on any of this stuff. Mike will answer the phone. He won't talk to you, but he'll answer.
No, I will not answer. I will not answer.
Oh, you won't?
No, I will. I will put you on the line.
And then we track you down. So 220-9788, 220-WSTU is the number in the studio. If you have a question about something that's going on at the United Way, we have Kathy Stacy, who has runs the Martin Volunteers portion of the program and at United Way, and so she's usually got her fingers on the pulse of the community, as they say, and if you're not nice to her, she'll strangle you with her. No, she's very nice. So she gets you involved. If you're new to the community and you haven't had an opportunity to participate in anything, she will get you involved in something that you like to do. And that's the thing that is amazing. She has all of these people that she's involved with that are looking for specific volunteers, and she sits down with all of these volunteers. And this truly does happen on kind of a one-to-one basis. She sits down with these volunteers, and they say, I really love animals, or I really love cats, or, I really love lizards. And, she's got a specific stuff that she can send you to, probably on all of those. You can go to the wildlife museum the wildlife program for the lizards, and you can go to the cats place for the cats, and she's got something for everybody. So whatever you want to do, you want to help people with getting meals. If you're interested in nutrition, if you're big on reading and the youth, she can help you with that, which, by the way, I want to put in a little plug for one of my organizations, Kiwanis. This weekend we do have a program going on the 3rd and the Saturday, which I think is the 3rd. We're having the reading in the park. It's pancakes and reading. It's celebrating Dr. Seuss's birthday. How can you not do that? And there'll be a reading area where kids will have books read to them and character stuff, and they get pancakes, and it's going to be a lot of fun. You can come out and see all of the equipment that the Kiwanis put in there for the park. Most of you probably know it if you've already been out there with your kids or grandkids. And then the new sales that are up, and all of the things that are happening there. Parking-wise, you may be a little careful because you'll notice that they're putting in a solar panel. FP&L is putting in a solar panel parking structure over there at the park so that it'll shade your car while you're out there at the park, but it'll also generate electricity. So that's pretty cool. And the city and the Kiwanis have partnered to put in those sails so that it covers the park area. And so they're going to have a big fun time this weekend, so make sure you swing by for that. We also have... What
are the hours?
In the morning. I think they start serving at like 9 or 8:30 or somewhere in that range. I should know. I'm one of the sponsors. So it's basically from like 9 to noon or...
Breakfast time?
Yeah, breakfast time. So, and then also we have going on this weekend, just to kind of throw it out there because we have so much stuff going on. Molly's House is having their polo event, which is a lot of fun, and there's still some VIP tickets available. So if you want to participate in that, you can give Molly's House a call and get some tickets. They're having there's a classic car show out there at the same time, which is really, really neat. There's cars from all over the place, not just locally here, but come down from all over. People up north like to come down here this time of the year to, I guess, try to write off their classic car trip. But anyway, it's nice weather here. So they'll be down there, and you can watch the event. That's kind of fun if you've never been to a polo match. It's a lot of fun out there. It's out near Port Mayaca. So it's easy to get to, and it's a lot of fun. That's this weekend, big fundraiser for Molly's House. And then also we have the Treasure Coast Marathon. I think it's either the Marathon of the Treasure Coast or Treasure Coast Marathon, which is a big event. It's coming in Saturday morning. They'll be doing a 5K and a 10K, I think, and a family run type thing, just for a lot of fun. And then And it's a big fundraiser for all of the nonprofits in the community. For some select, they have all of it goes to nonprofits. It's not a for-profit activity. It's a fundraiser. They've raised over $80,000 for charity locally here. It is a qualifier for the Boston Marathon. You can actually qualify here, which is one of the few places around that you can that your time could qualify for the Boston Marathon. For those of you that are serious about it, you don't have to go up north or out of the state or someplace else. You can run right here and potentially qualify for the Boston Marathon. And they're going to have a lot of activities going on. There's some music on Saturday. I think there's some music again on Sunday, a big concert. I think Moshka Project's in, and I forget who the other groups are, but it's going to be a lot of fun. Good time for the family as well as, to support the charities. And like I said, it's a big fundraiser for some of the local charities, and I know I am also a sponsor on that one. So if you can get out there and support the all the things they're doing and all of the activities that they've got going on, that would be great too. So anyway, that's what's happening. Some of the things that are happening this weekend, and you need to keep an eye on activities this time of the year. Everything's just, there's tremendous amount of things that are taking place that you can have some fun and support a lot of worthwhile causes, including a lot of the United Way activities in town.
We have to first dispel the rumor that the solar panels at the Kiwanis Park are for a train station.
Oh.
I've been hearing that.
Oh.
So just so you know, and I'm like, oh, no.
So, that would be good, I guess. Yeah, we could.
But that is some of the questions that I have been fielding lately. So isn't that interesting?
Yeah, people are kind of crazy. Conspiracies and everything.
Yes.
I always like that. So, but anyway, so that's as far as I know, that's never was the intent. I think they're using it for some of the lighting in the park, but I think it's also generates enough solar to go into the grid. So it's an activity that they're trying to create some economic benefit out of it for FP&L, which then allowed FP&L to help support the project. So that is a good thing, and we'll see what happens there. Also, I guess tonight we have character counts, the Joe Kordick Youth Character Awards, and so that's pretty neat. And that's, let's see, at the Wolf High Technology Center. Is that what we're talking about, I guess?
Yes, tonight? It's wonderful. It is Holly Laban, of course, is the project director, and they will be presenting the Youth Character Counts Awards to the students throughout the school who have been nominated and elected and or chosen. And it is, if you haven't been there, it is just such a heartwarming event. And these children, and they're truly still children, have done such wonderful things, and they are of such moral character. It gives you great hope for the future, these kids. So it's really nice. They've been chosen amongst their peers for just having great character, and it's really wonderful. I volunteer at that event, which is nice. So I get to see a lot of the students, and then students who've been nominated before and been chosen come back, and it's nice to see the parents, and it's really nice to see everyone. It's a great event.
Yeah, the character counts is a great program. I've been participating in that for a while, and we're going to have another big golf tournament coming up. So make sure you keep that in your sights. We'll have it's a way we help raise the money for some of these things, and it's a lot of fun. This year we will again have hole-in-one prizes on every hole, including a car. Last year we had a Bentley. Mm-hmm. And by the way, that wasn't a lease. That was a you own it Bentley if you got a hole-in-one. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't on a 200-yard par 3. It was on, I think, 160 yards or 157 yards, so I can almost do that. And it wasn't over water either. But anyway, it's pretty cool event. This year we're going to have the same type of thing, probably a $65,000 car or cars. You may have his and her Mercedes. We don't know. We haven't decided yet. We got to figure out what's available at the time. But something like that where you'll have either one or two cars that total probably around $65,000 in value. There will be other prizes and a lot of fun. The entry fee is reasonable. We have a lot of giveaways, a lot of things that happen. So make sure you, because it helps raise money for these very programs like this with character counts and the Joe Kordick Youth Awards. And Joe Kordick, of course, was very instrumental in getting that program started here in Martin County and getting the program going. So,
and Phyllis Kordick will be there tonight as well, so that's really neat.
Yeah, Phyllis was great, and she still is active in the program and making sure that it stays successful. She's done a great job, getting the Monarch community to participate, which is a big deal. They were the ones that kind of helped get this thing off the ground, and did it as a fundraiser initially. So it's pretty. We're pretty excited about that and appreciate all the stuff that Phyllis does for this program, and make sure you support it. And when you get this opportunity, there's a lot of these kind of things out there, and this is one that's really great that you can help out with. And you'll find out what types of students we have in the community, because as Kathy said, they're amazing students, and a lot of times we hear about the 1% that maybe is not the best in the world, and we sometimes miss the 99% that are out there doing the job every single day, being good students, being good community participants, and managing to honor the pillars and have good character. So anyway, so mention that's coming up again. Probably a little late to get out there, but because you're supposed to RSVP by the 21st, but there might be some spots available. So if you're interested, you can call Holly at 283-4800. Yep, extension 234. I actually can remember that one because that's like my cell number. My cell's 631-4800.
There you go.
So 283-4800 usually the only number I can remember. So, and 234 is almost an extension I can remember. So anyway, give her a call if that's something that you are interested in. Otherwise, I know we've got some other things taking place. What kind of things, Kathy, do you have out there for people to participate in? I know a lot of people are here and they're having a good time, but they've played a few rounds of golf already, and now they're trying to find some other things to do to kill a little time.
Get out of the sun.
Yes, and the spouses, the wives are trying to find things to get rid of their husbands for, or the wives are, those kind of things to do. So what do you got?
So one of the volunteer projects that we have coming up, one of our programs, it is the RSVP program, Retired and Senior Volunteer Program, that I'm the director of, has a service project coming up to celebrate National Service Recognition Day, and that is in March. We have proclamations that are being done at the county and the city level, and we are inviting the
don't look at me. I have no idea.
Sorry. We are invited the elected officials to come and join us as we partner with the Treasure Coast Food Bank to pack senior boxes, which are supplies for seniors that are in need of food and goods over the weekend. Teen pantry boxes for, I am assuming they are going out to Indiantown and Okeechobee. And then what was currently known as the backpack program, where we pack food for children that need food to last over the weekend until they return to school on Mondays. We called it the backpack program because it's a giant Ziploc bag that has meals in it that are shelf-stabled, that are slid into their backpacks on Friday afternoons so that they have food to sustain them over the weekend. It was very popular. We were doing it for a couple years on weekends, on Saturday mornings, and the volunteers loved it. So we've now moved it indoors, and we're partnering again with the Treasure Coast Food Bank, and we are celebrating with our 55 and older volunteers to celebrate National Service Recognition Day indoors at the Martin County Fairgrounds on March 27th. If you are over 55 and would like to join our retired and senior volunteer program,
Darn, I can't qualify.
I bet you can. You can get in touch with us at United Way at 772-283-4800 or UnitedWayMartin.org, and go on the website and you can get in touch with me. We will hook you up with an awesome gray t-shirt that has our RSVP logo on it and United Way, and get you started in volunteering. But we're celebrating this. It is on a national and state level. We're seeing how many congressmen we can get signed up, how many officials we can get to join us at this project. And it's fun, and you make a lot of friends, and it's really upbeat, and we have a great time. We've done it before, not to celebrate national service, but we've done it before, and it is really popular. We're doing it in the morning from 9:30 to 11:30. And I apologize to those who are under 55. You will be invited last. If we have a couple spaces left, we'll invite you at that point. But I have over 700 age-appropriate volunteers. So if we can spare a couple spots, we'll let you know. But it is for the 55 and over generation.
You know, that's age discrimination.
It is, isn't it? I'm so sorry. Well, it has been determined that if you are 55 and older and volunteering, your health is much better, your outlook in life is much better, you feel better about yourself, and generally you live longer and can live on your own. So we celebrate that.
Fantastic.
So.
Yes, that is and you know, it's funny that Kathy and I kid about that all the time, because that's the only downside of her program. Nobody wants to admit they're a senior. But the funny thing is, if you watched the people that participate, you'd never know they were seniors, because most of them are extremely active, and that's actually the purpose of it. Because like Kathy said, and part of this program was started originally, the original reason that the program was put together was not only to provide volunteers, but to go out into the community nationwide. This is a program that's kind of nationwide, is get people who are 55 and over who to volunteer in their community, because statistically they're more active, they're more healthy, and they live longer, and they have happier lives. So, and besides all of that, it's great for the community, because we get all these people who have all this life experience, and I'm getting more and more of that every day. I just love it. And they have all this life experience, and they bring it to the activities they're involved in. And like I said at the beginning of the show, that's why Kathy can kind of match you up with the activities and interests that you have. Everything from programs in the youth community to programs working with seniors, with other seniors, and with those that are disabled, with all kinds of things that are going on. And they're always looking for volunteers, always looking for assistance, and there's always something that's involved to do. So, it's an amazing thing that happens. We've got a lot of people out there. It's unfortunate that we have a seasonal influx, because many of the people go back up north, and they go back to their communities, and we lose that talent. And we kid about the snowbirds all the time and all of that kind of thing, but we really do like having them here. They do help. They're really a big part of the community. Most of them consider this to be home, just like their home up north. They participate in the activities. They get involved year after year. They have their friends here, and they get involved with their friends. And it really is great, other than the Canadians. But anyway, they have a better hockey team. But anyway, not this year though, and not in the Olympics. So we won that one. Anyway. No, we do appreciate all of the participation and all of the activities that you get involved in, and there's a lot of stuff that's going to happen now between today and really pretty much the middle of April. About we've got an early Easter this year, which is always tough. Those of you that do go back up north. Consider this year having your taxes done down here. Stay down here. Bring your family down here for Easter. I'm pretty sure they'd rather come down here and go to the beach
Have a
and
tan.
then have
That's
a
right.
tan when when everybody else is trying to go to the beach in the summer, and then and stick around for a while. You'll find that it is actually really a lot of fun here, even in April. It's not hot. In fact, the temperature in April, around the 3rd, 4th week of April, will be right about where it is right now. In fact, tomorrow it's going to be 87, and it won't be that hot in April, trust me. It might be a little bit more humid, but not much warmer than that. So it's a lot of fun if you have a chance to stick around or go up and come back for a little while. Do an extended season. I think and we could use it at United Way because there's a lot of things going on that happen in April and May, and we have still a lot of things that need to be done, helping prepare the community for all kinds of activities. And unfortunately, we have less volunteers. I mean,
Yep.
The 700 that we have now.
Well, those are only my senior volunteers.
Yes, I know.
So, yes.
But
Yep.
I'm just saying that, there wouldn't be quite as many if we did this in May.
Right.
So
another event that we have coming up where some of the snowbirds can help out is we are hosting a job fair along with some of our agency partners on April 13th at the Wolf Technology Center with IRSC, the VFW, VVW 1041, the BDB, and some other folks on April 13th. I know it's a Friday. And what we find that we're lacking is some of our volunteers have aged out. And those are specific volunteers who were business owners. So we are preparing the job seekers with a resume. So we have a resume writing workshop. We have job seekers who come in and we put them through an orientation. And if they don't have a resume, we have a document online that they can fill in so that they don't go in basically cold calling to these companies. We will have about 40 companies looking for employees. So we work with them, and then we have past business owners or current business owners who take a few hours out of their day to interview them and ask them questions that a company may ask them, look over their resume, and give them helpful hints. We're down a few just because our volunteers do age out, and whether it be they move or other interests come up. So I am in need of a couple more. It's very easy for me to look at my database because I do know a lot of my volunteers and what they used to do as I get to know them better. So I've tapped probably 6 of them to morph over from just being volunteers on a general basis to assisting with that. But I could use a couple more of those. The job fair will be from 9 o'clock until 1, so it's not a big time commitment. And I have a gentleman by the name of Tom Lytle, who is with the SCORE agency, who helps people get ready for jobs and prepare to open a business that works with them. So he would be the gentleman that we would be putting you in touch with as far as what your duties would actually be. So I'm looking for a couple of those. If you know anyone who is interested in getting a job, we will steer you towards the Career Source or BDB. That's where you will end up registering online. Pre-registered job seekers are able to come a half an hour early for the job fair, so that's kind of a neat incentive. If you already have a resume prepared, then you get in early. And of course, it is veteran preferenced. So if you are a veteran, then you also will be able to attend a half an hour early. So that's kind of a wonderful event. There are a lot of jobs out there. We did not have one in the fall because the unemployment rate was so low that we didn't feel the need for a job fair. However, the employers have come to us and said, no, we do need qualified employees of the trade skill. So we are back.
And the funny thing is that when unemployment rates are low, that's actually when you you probably need these things more. Because I know we look at it sometimes from a job seeker standpoint, but from an employer standpoint, when the pool is not out there, when there's so many people already employed, now you're not looking for people that are just sitting around doing nothing. You got to get somebody who's looking to make a job change or that's new to the community and is there, and it's hard to reach those people. And as an employer, you're looking for a person with specific talent, and it becomes harder and harder to get them as the unemployment rate goes down. So from an employer standpoint, I can understand the employers would still want to have those fairs.
Right.
And even the employees or the potential employees to some degree, they're coming out of school or they've gone back for some retraining or whatever. So I could be the person that asks all of the inappropriate questions.
You notice I didn't tap you.
I noticed that. But I know how to do that. I know what all the inappropriate questions are. I used to be in HR. I know all of that. But yeah, it is kind of interesting. This kind of thing is very helpful too. We have employers that are specifically looking for people, so that's a good thing.
Right.
And those are all legitimate interviews. But it's amazing that a lot of people, these mock interviews are a huge benefit to the people, to the participants, even though they don't realize it sometimes. I was talking to Jeff Carson, who's in my Kiwanis Club. Many people here locally know Jeff. He's was involved in the school system forever. He's the Dick Clark of the school system. But anyway, he'll love that if that gets back to him. So just if you happen to see him, just call him Dick Clark of the school system. But anyway, he's been very, very involved, and our Kiwanis Club is very involved with youth, and we did our scholarships recently. In fact, it was very, very difficult this year. And but one of the things that Jeff does afterwards is he volunteers to meet with some of these other candidates. He volunteers to meet with them so that he can do mock interviews, because, like you said, these kids are really, really great, and they have all of this community service and all of these academic credentials and everything else. But a lot of them still don't know how to look you in the eye. They don't know how to answer your question without kind of looking away, and they don't know how to shake hands correctly. They may not know how to dress correctly and that kind of thing. And so it's kind of cool that these type of activities are really important. And I can tell you this, that having talked to some of my compatriots in the CPA world, including at some of the big firms, believe it or not, it is a case that some of these kids actually bring their parents to job interviews. That's kind of a no-no in the business world. So, you need to get to the point that you can handle that yourself, because we're not looking to hire mom and dad. So, so go ahead and, take a look at that, and this type of activity, if you're looking for a job, you're looking to change careers, even to understand how, that job might be different than the job you had before, trades-wise or something. Some of the trades are now much more technical, and so to have an understanding of that and what kind of questions might be asked and what they might expect you to know is a good thing. So it's a freebie. Take advantage of it. And,
it is.
And if you're looking for a job, it's a good opportunity. If you're in a dead end industry, like radio, you might want to go over there.
Well, we did host.
You hear that, Mike? April 13th, Mike. April 13th.
How dare you?
Yeah, I know.
And we do have some employers who are unable to attend the job fair, so we will have a table with positions that are available with just the information for you to take with you and get in touch with them directly. It is interesting to note, we did host one on a Saturday. It would actually be a year ago because we thought people were underemployed, and so our Saturday would be well attended, and it was not. So that was very interesting to us. It was not as well attended as we had expected. So we have gone back to the Friday morning event, So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, but if you think about it, if you're underemployed, you're probably working Saturday and you're working Sunday.
Maybe,
Yeah,
yeah, exactly.
You took a second job or whatever, so
I'd be hustling, sure.
Yeah, but it's tough. It is true, and I think there still is a fair amount of underemployment in the community. It's starting to get a little better in certain areas, but in other areas it's still very, very difficult. Plus, some of the jobs that people used to do have gone away. The new economy, those jobs don't exist. We forget that that depression started in 2007, and we're 10 years beyond that now, and of course still talking about it. But it eliminated a lot of jobs. A lot of jobs just went away, whether they went overseas or they went mechanized or whatever. But a lot of those jobs went away, and that's why some of these people have ended up having to go back to school and get retrained. I will say this just as a general comment relative to people who go back to school or who go to school while they're working, raising a family, go out and get an education, or even just specific training, change careers, get an education in other careers. That's the kind of person you want. I tell you what, that is a hard thing to do. And I was a good student, and I did really well in school and all of those kind of things, and in college. And but I know at one point I was working in public accounting and went back for my master's. At the time, you didn't have to have it. I just wanted to get one, and it's just it was impossible. I mean, I thought I had a great deal of drive and ambition, but between the whole thing with having a family and working 60 hours a week and trying to get all that done, it was virtually impossible to do that. And so for somebody that has done that, has gone back and gotten that degree, raised their kids maybe and gone back and gotten a master's or a law degree or an accounting degree or whatever, and any of these kind of things, gone back into nursing and all of those kind of things, I'm just amazed at how much effort that takes and how much training that it takes. And it's not easy, It's I know a lot of things we were taught about. Some people wonder why in Martin County or in this area, Stewart, Martin County, that the firefighters are paid as well as they are. But one of the reasons is that they all are required to have EMT type training, and I might be using the wrong term because there's two terms for that. One's like a medic, and one's like really a full-fledged ambulance person, and it's that one. but that saves the county money because they don't now when they roll something they can actually handle those issues on site or in the ambulance where they couldn't do some of that kind of stuff if they weren't trained for that. But it's amazing how much training that takes and continuing education to go back and keep those up. It's and you're taking a lot of time away from your family on weekends or whenever you're having to get up to speed on that. So if you have an opportunity, you're looking to hire some people, somebody like that's gone out there, gotten their degree, maybe worked, raised a family while they were trying to go to school. It may have taken them a little longer. They may be a little older, but they're going to be a good employee. And a lot of times, even if it's somebody who was retired from their position and now has gone back and gotten another degree or another area of expertise, it's just that's a good person to have. It's somebody who's really going to get some things done. So
and
put that down.
It is interesting to note that we are working with the schools because they have the CAPE program for students who are have decided or are deciding not to go off to college but want to stay right here in Martin County. So we are working with the high schools as far as having those students come to the job fair as well to explore opportunities. So there are scholarship opportunities, and IRSC is there, and so we have a lot of educators that will be there to assist the students as well.
Well, and one of the things for those of you that maybe aren't familiar with Martin County and St. Lucie County and the Treasure Coast, we have one of the best state colleges. They used to be called community colleges because they were in our community, but now they're state colleges. we have one of the best state colleges in the United States, not only in the state of Florida, which it is very, very good, and it ranks easily as one of as the best, really, in all of Florida for state colleges and what they accomplish. But nationwide, it is a leader in programs that are being offered for skills. And sometimes we think about technical training or voc tech and trades, and we're thinking solely about maybe construction or air conditioning or electricians and that. And those are all jobs that are trades, and you need qualified people there, and there's apprenticeship programs and all of those kind of things. And you do need, and they need certain skills, and IRSC and others have the ability to teach some of those things. But we're also talking about trades in terms of certain medical professions, MRIs, blood work. There is security. There's a security program at IRC teaching, those types of programs, safety and security, police type readiness programs. There are programs out there for the standard core curriculum, accounting, and all of those. In fact, IRC is one of the few schools in the state, in this area, it's around here, where you can actually get a 4-year undergraduate degree in accounting. And that's a tremendous thing for those people who want a career change, because they can't quit and go back up to Gainesville or Tallahassee, why they'd want to go there, or down to Miami and one of those places, to just to go back to school full time. They just can't do it to get some of the undergraduate courses they might need before they can even go towards their master's. And so so to have a resource like IRSC, and if you're here and you're visiting, and maybe you're seasonal and you haven't really looked at IRSC, look at what they have to offer. Go down and look at the campus down off of Cove, and look at that, the Wolf Technology Center, some of the things that they've got down there. Look at the one up in Fort Pierce, the main campus up in Fort Pierce off of Virginia, and see what they've got. It's an amazing school, and you'll be impressed. And then if you're looking to do something, just because some people are looking for some additional skills, maybe some they want to get a little bit of training in an area that they used to be involved in, maybe part-time or whatever. It's a really neat place to do that. They have a lot of great programs. So anyway, I'll push that, and I guess I'll say too, just as a general thing, that although I give Mike a hard time, Mike also works 2 jobs, and he has a family business, and he does work
3
hard.
jobs.
3 jobs, that's right. I forgot. And so
he's a husband. That's 4.
That's
4 jobs.
He doesn't do. Let's talk to his wife. He doesn't do too good on that.
Yeah,
last
3.5.
That's 3.5. That's right. So his wife works 4 jobs. 2 of them are making sure he stays out of trouble.
That is correct.
So anyway, but Mike is one of those kind of guys that's grown up here and really gone out and worked to get a couple different skill sets, and has worked really hard, and even though he really didn't learn anything, he did work really hard. So
fake it till you make it.
That's right. Fake it till you make it.
You got a good wife, so there you go.
That's right. So let's see. Let's talk about what's going on with some of these things that you might want to get involved in, other than we talked about the job fair, but some of the things that we're looking at are the citizens review panels and some of the activities there, and that's a program I've been involved with for a while, so I do want to plug it. It's an activity that I was looking for as a self-employed individual, or owning my own business and not having a big business that has a large payroll. I was looking for some way to participate in United Way and give back outside of the traditional program. And so one way to do that was to sponsor the United Way or contribute to the United Way, which I do, and sometimes I I sponsor specifically Character Counts, and that's not really what I should do. I should, I should really sponsor United Way in total, but I do that some too. So, but what I do is participate, and that is an opportunity. And I've had a lot of small business owners say, well, I can't do the campaign. That's for Florida Power and Light and Publix. Well, yeah, they do have big campaigns, and they have the opportunity to raise large amounts of money. And these communities, we have some community campaigns, Loblolly and Sailfish and some of those, they have big community campaigns, and that's kind of neat too. And they can organize and do that. But for some of us that are out there in small business land, we look at it and say, well, we don't have, we got 3 people or whatever. So what do we want to do? How are we going to do it? Well, there's nothing that stops you from making a contribution directly to the United Way. And you don't have to make it every week through payroll. You can just make a lump sum contribution. You can make periodic. I look for opportunities to get some marketing out of it so that I don't need a charitable contribution necessarily, but I do like to promote United Way, and I like to promote myself from a business standpoint. So if I can generate more revenue to be able to contribute more money, that's always a good thing. So, that's one of the things you can do is you can get out there and you can get involved in an activity if you're really concerned about kids and schools and things. Contribute some money to the United Way. They have the Summer Slide program and the one of the main focuses of United Way here in Martin County is to have everybody be able to read at level by 3rd grade. Because statistically, between, preschool and 3rd grade, you learn to read. From 3rd grade on, you read to learn. So it's interesting that how important 3rd grade is, and getting to that point. And you can't wait until 2nd to address the problem. We all found that out. So now we're starting to deal with this problem in preschool and kindergarten programs that are specific, and the United Way provides some funding for, to specifically address maintaining and improving reading scores and reading ability, not just scores, not just tests, but a real ability to read and comprehend. And so there's a number of specific programs, one of which is the Summer Slide program, which is what that is a recognition that when kids leave, the grade before, 2nd grade, let's say, and they are at a certain level, let's say they're at 100% of their on-level reading score by the end of 2nd grade, which would be really the start of 3rd grade, typically. So they're right there where you need them to be. But all of a sudden, they go 3 months, and they don't pick up a book, and they don't read anything, and they don't look at anything. And now they come to the start of 3rd grade, and they're 80% of where they need to be. So the teacher in 3rd grade has to spend the first half of the year trying to get them back to 100%. And so that's the kind of thing that is very, very difficult. And sometimes you can't do that. And if there's a disability involved, you need to identify the disability and start taking corrective action. So the United Way is looking at all of these things and trying to support. They don't develop them themselves. They provide financial support to projects, not agencies, to come up with a program or project that may address or be successful in eliminating or reducing or correcting a problem. In this case, the inability to read at level by 3rd grade. And they do that by having a specific program that has very specific goals that are measurable so that you can determine that they're actually accomplishing it. It's not a feel-good thing. It's not like, wow, I felt a lot better this year, so I think I read a lot better. No, it's not. That's not it. It seems like everybody reads better this year. That's not how they evaluate them. And so,
can I interject really
Sure.
quick? I want everyone to turn over their newspaper today, and on the back page, you will see that Betty Mulligan was honored with the Champion of Service Award. She is one of our RSVP volunteers, and we nominated her. She does just that. She is with Caring Children, Clothing Children, and she has implemented a tutoring program She's been there for, I think, 12 years.
Wow.
And she started with just the kids in the library. Now she's in 5 schools with over 80 volunteers. Her heart and soul is in it. And she has, with the support of the RSVP program, we've helped put in 300 books for these students with all of her tutors. She has helped these children. I want to say the success rate is 89%, and these children have been brought up to be successful in their reading, and they're on level and doing great. And so we nominated her for the Volunteer Florida Champion of Service Award, and she was awarded it in January. So Carol Hodnett and I went to Tallahassee to see it presented to her by Governor Rick Scott, and it's on the back of the newspaper today. So
Cool.
Our hats off to her and Caring Children, Clothing Children. She is an awesome volunteer, and we sing her in our highest praises. She is wonderful, as are all our volunteers, and she does all the paperwork. So her responsibilities to us are to track all the children, but she also tracks all the volunteer hours for us. For reporting for our grant, which is really wonderful, and it allows us to, in turn, use grant funding to support them with tools that they need to be successful. So she's done an outstanding job.
And that's a perfect example of the type of things that United Way brings to the table, because here's a program that wasn't specifically geared towards reading necessarily. It was actually geared towards providing clothing and support for kids, whether it be for job interviews or for school or whatever the thing was. And that was the primary purpose of it. But being involved with kids, they recognized this problem. United Way was trying to find solutions, offering opportunities for people to find solutions. She came up with an idea.
She's a retired teacher.
Yeah.
She spotted it right away. It was really Betty. She was awesome. And with all the support behind her, she developed the curriculum. She did everything, and she works very closely with the schools. So it's just she is just wonderful. And I mean, her heart and soul is in it. And her husband told me she used to be very shy.
Really?
And I'm like, that is not the Betty I know. So.
Well, and so those are the kind of things. So if you're looking for something to get involved in, we have the citizen review panels, and that's the other way that you can volunteer time. You don't have to volunteer money, although I can guarantee you once you get involved in this stuff, you'll want to contribute money, but you don't have to. It's all about time. And
it's one day, and you get to see where the money goes, which is really the neatest thing. You can volunteer, but if you get on the Citizens Review panel, you go out and see the behind the scenes and what is done with your dollars. And you can decide when you go. It takes the one day, and you go and you see what the project is about or what the program is about, and you decide in which order, which program you would like to see the funding go towards. So it's been streamlined. They're looking for volunteers now to go and view those programs. I always run out of time with Mark. View the programs, go on site and see how the programs work, but then you go back and discuss it and see, what's good, what, might need help. And it doesn't mean they're going to fund all of them. You just get to put in your input, see where the dollars go, and you can go into the health programs, into the reading programs. There are certain areas that you can go into. It's important to note that if you're not a donor, you can go the first year, but they would like for you to be a donor in order to come back. So whether it's $50, it's $5,000, $50,000, you just have to be a donor.
Right.
I'm a donor. Mark's a donor.
That's right. You can be one time.
We're
or
all
multiple
donors.
times,
That's right. So.
And so. And here's the, here again in a nutshell is what they do. They review the grant applications, they conduct agency site visits, and then they recommend a score for each program. And as like Kathy said, it's a score situation. You're not actually allocating dollars, but you are helping the Funds Distribution Committee determine where those dollars should be allocated. And from we have a panel on education, a panel on financial stability, and a panel on health this year are the ones that are going to be dealt with. So those agencies are categorized by the programs, not the agencies. The programs are categorized by what area they fall into, whether they're education, financial stability, or health. And then you'll evaluate those depending upon which one of those committees or groups you decide to participate in. There's a training program April 9th at Chastain campus, and then they start, it's about 1 to 2 hours to review the grant applications, and then there's about a half day, a little bit more to conduct the agency site visits and the deliberations. So it starts Wednesday, April 11th through Thursday, April 26th are the tentative dates. And as Kathy said, you need to, after the first year, they'd like you to be a donor. But again, that could be a sponsor of something. You can participate by sponsoring a United Way activity. So there's other ways that you can, as a business, participate. And we're always looking for good participation. So that's the program. If you want to call Rachel Terlisi, her number again, 283-4800, and you can ask for Rachel or extension 246, and she'll be the person to get you signed up and get you ready to go. Again, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's a great program, and United Way does great things. So if you want to find a way to participate in your community, as if you're here on a short-term basis or a long-term basis, United Way is the way to do it. And we appreciate you joining us. Join us again next Wednesday right here on WSTU Digital 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.